For full episodes as they air, listen to Rants Hollywood Talk on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and blogtalkradio.com/GrantsRants.
From the podcast, Rants Hollywood Talk, it's Rants Small Talk.
Let the ranting begin. This is a small talk bonus episode of Rants, a mini one, talking Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 8, Episode 1 recap. And look, the kids, I have a really bad internet connection, and I did not know this while I was recording, so this show's a little rocky. Do with the show what you will. I plan to put out some small talk bonus episodes about big things here and there. So this is for the premiere of Real Housewives of New Jersey. So enjoy it, and you'll never know what's coming up next here at the Rants. I am joined by, from the Garden State, Nick Barbati. Are you on the line?
I'm here, Grant. I'm so happy to once again be with you.
Yes.
Yes, it was, I've seen many of Real Housewives of New Jersey premieres. This one was quite the marathon, I'll say.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I hope that my audio quality is decent. For everyone listening live, this is the very first time that I've done this. I'm using a feature here at Blog Talk Radio, which I'm partnered with Rants. So this is a test of, and hopefully it'll go off well. Either way, we're going to discuss the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I mean, we're not going in too deep, but we're going to take a look at, a little bit of what happened with these ladies since we last saw them, and then what mainly happened to Boca Raton. So let's get started. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So Teresa ends up somberly that her mother has passed from pneumonia. It's been a year that she's been with Joe, or he's been at home, and a month has passed since her mother's death. Her father is moving in with her, and she's definitely transition period.
Yeah, I've never been a real big Teresa fan, so I'm sure some of the tree huggers out there are going to love that statement. To me, I just think she's always been really overrated in terms of entertainment and in terms of just bringing anything worth watching. But with that said, I mean, it was one of those moments where even I, at the start of the episode, was, we've been on this journey with this family for, I mean, what is it, 10 years now almost? Not just under. And it was like, it's kind of like watching like a flashback of our lives, because, one thing you can say about Jersey is, they've always highlighted things like the holidays and just the major like landmarks that happen during the course of a year. And it was kind of like, to me, I found it really, I went into myself a little watching going, my gosh, I remember that episode. I remember that episode when they did the montages of the families. And, Grant, you and I, we always say, like, two Italian guys, we know what the Italian holidays look like. And
right.
It really hit home to think, oh wow, and the mom figure, the matriarch of this family, isn't going to be there anymore. And I have to say, I don't know what's right or wrong in reality TV, what's too far and not too far. Seeing the little girls crying, leaving the funeral, I don't know. That was a little much for me to watch.
Yeah, I get that. I thought about that. 'Cause I looked at where the camera's placed, and the camera were across the street when they were putting the balloons up in the air. And I was wondering, if anyone in the family had said something like, really, you have to have your show here for this too? Like, I bet that was a point of contention with someone.
The balloons didn't bother me. The balloons really did not bother me. I thought it was lovely, symbolic, and, and like I said, for someone whose life we've been on such a journey with, that part didn't bother me. Seeing Melania coming down the steps, that was a little deep for me. I don't know. It was a cutting moment. It's a taste thing, but it wasn't great for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny because we just spent a whole last season when the show was on like 18 months ago, or whatever the heck it was, talking about how she wanted to go to work and she hadn't worked and she needed her own identity. And now we don't want to do that either. Okay, well,
yeah.
Where's the storyline, Melissa? I mean, I feel like we haven't had one in the past 3 seasons, and apparently we don't have one this year either.
Well, I really thought the storyline was going to be Andy, Jackie, and going to get revenge, maybe some legal. It was all really said quite quickly, almost like in a prologue segment. It was like, by the way, we no longer work together. I'm glad to be on my own. She cleaned out the store, and it was liquidated and done. And by the way, I went to KG, my nemesis. Wait a minute, that could be a whole season storyline. Hold up, you better have something that's coming up.
Right. Well, something's definitely up, Grant, with this first episode. And as I'm watching, I'm going, wait, because, in real time, we can now follow the filming of these reality shows. And, before the Boca filming started taking place, we knew Danielle was having a housewarming party, which was supposed to kick off filming. We knew this drama was going on with Envy. And it's like, do they not have good footage? Was it not compelling enough? Because I don't know about you. I mean, you're much more, I think, in tune with some of the histories of these Housewives episodes. But I was really surprised to see a vacation episode in the first episode of a season, which, I would have thought that they would build to that. But no, apparently that footage is not compelling enough. But, hey, I thought the real-life drama of that Envy, boutique was a lot more interesting than about, more than half the stuff we saw today.
About that vacation, too. That was a first. If all my experience of these shows, the first for them to have a cast trip. And I was wondering, is this the producers, really just throwing everything that they can at the TV to try to make the season stick? I mean, I assume that they have received a lot of pressure from Bravo and producers. Again, this is alleged. I don't know. But from what I'm looking at, I mean, let's be real. The last two seasons of the show, unless you're a tree hugger, it's been rough. So I feel they were like, oh, what can we do to really just draw people in? I want to talk about that with Danielle. I'm going to get there because I have a whole thing about that I want to say. But continuing on with the updates of these ladies, Dolores, who I really thought I could go leave last season, I'm actually kind of intrigued by her. I don't really know why. But now Frank, as her ex-husband, is moving in 18 years later. And she says that they're not getting back together.
Reality TV show. Conveniently, he's moving back in.
Yeah, he's moving in with his one bag that probably has like a ski jacket in it.
Right.
This.
Yeah, I agree. I think last year she was really. To be honest with you, in my head, I'm trying to figure out what are some of the high points of what I just watched. Not to trash the show, but it really, to me, I struggled through it. I thought. Just before I get to Dolores, let me just say, I thought the show was lit horribly. I didn't think the interviews, sit-down interviews were especially flattering to the women. I think some of the fashions just seemed outdated, and just the talking sound bites could have been from season 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever we're on right now. But what I liked about Dolores was, last year she just basically seemed like it was like a steroided up friend of. There really wasn't a real big story. The story that she did have wasn't especially compelling. Sometimes the characters have, even the twins had this really elaborate family behind them that really had so much personality. I didn't sense that from her. But, there is a real charisma between Dolores and her ex-husband that's really likable. You want them to be together, which is why I think that's why they were encouraged to move back in together. And I find the storyline very likable. And I really liked, as the episode progressed, you could see the suspicion in her eyes about the Danielle Staub re-entry and just the mechanisms that were going on. She didn't seem as rose-colored glasses as she did last year to me.
Siggy, other than Teresa and her mother's passing, the rest of the show was all about Siggy and who she knew and what she was doing and what she shouldn't be doing. So she kind of annoyed me a little bit. But the update on her is that she still really doesn't have much of a storyline. She's going through an empty nest syndrome, which is the storyline is just that, a soundbite. And then she's feeling the pressure from her husband to work less. And, I always say with these shows, the storyline is a housewife trying to balance work, life, family, and business. It's, that's AKA there's really not much going on.
There's nothing else going on. Yeah, exactly.
I'm concerned.
Right.
I'm concerned for Siggy.
But with Siggy, what I think Siggy's been hit with? She's been hit with a little Dorinda Medley syndrome. So Dorinda from the New York Housewives, which I much prefer New York Housewives, full disclosure. But Dorinda, when her first season that she filmed with New York, she was a bit more everyday, cool girl, relatable, would be the easy path to get into that group of friends because she'd be the most understanding and most welcoming. By the time the second season she came on, to the show, all of a sudden she was more glamorous, and she was, being more pretentious in her parties being planned at the very start of the season. And that ended up, slapping her in the face, and she got back to normal very quickly. That's where I feel like Siggy is, with the grand entrance and the hello over the top. The thing, I think, is something Siggy is enjoying quite a bit from what I watched in that scene. That just seemed very too real to me. She's very much enjoying her newfound fame.
She's enjoying being the Bravo celebrity.
Yeah, I just thought that the storyline was very lame. The whole thing of, the faux empty nest. How can you be an empty nester when your daughter's still living in the house? Do I really think the husband said he wanted her to work only 2 days a week? No, I don't believe that at all. So, I mean, I don't know.
I think his claim might be legitimate if we always forget to factor in the show. Maybe it's not just that she's speaking at a nail spa 3 times a week down the street. Maybe it's because it's like, okay, you're at the beginning of shooting the show. You have these contracted trips you have to take. You're expected to be at so many dinners. Like, here we go. Like, I'm concerned. A lot of these husbands, they get jealous.
Yeah, but she obviously didn't care too much about his feedback if she jumped right on a plane and went to Boca with her friends. I mean, this hardly made a dent on her.
Exactly. So true. So back at Teresa's house, Danielle received some sympathy flowers from the prostitution or Danielle Staub.
Well, I think from just about the show and Danielle's return, I don't think the friend of is nearly enough for her. First of all, Chris, did I miss something? I don't even think they did like the taglines today. I didn't even see them at the start of the show.
They didn't do
I was
taglines.
Blinking.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I saw them on Bravo. I saw them on BravoTV.com that they were there. But here's the thing. If you want Danielle Staub to come back, you want to hear what the tagline's going to be about her grand return. It would be in reference to something that happened all those years ago. You want to see much more of a storyline. This really wasn't enough. And when she did appear on the screen, which I don't want to jump too far ahead than you're willing to go, it just seemed like she was on her P's and Q's, like for producers. Like, look, I'm just trying to ease my way in. I'm trying to be agreeable and likable. And it just seemed very, very sugar-coated, to get her on there. I don't know. I still have a theory in that, she was – allegedly filmed an awful lot of the season. Up until the end, there seemed to be a debate whether she was a friend of or main cast member. I don't know if they're worried about something coming out or something that's going to, be bad press that they don't want to say she was a full-blown housewife or what. But I don't know. I just think if you're a Danielle Staub, I was never a fan of hers, but I found her very compelling TV, very interesting. I turned this on and it was like you just infused Danielle Staub into the same storylines we've been watching for years. It felt like nothing. I just didn't think anything was new other than having her back, and they didn't go all in with it. It just, to me, it lacked. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that she should be insulted. They didn't make her full time. There's really no excuse for having her on the show, who's really a reality TV legend. Put this show on the map, as well as Housewives in general.
To me, it's not there. Anybody tuned in today either did it because they loved Teresa or they were interested in seeing Danielle come back, and what they saw just, to me, that's the reason I came back. It wasn't enough to keep going. I'm not buying it on Amazon, and it's not required viewing. If it's on while the TV's on, then maybe I'll watch.
Got it. So you weren't intrigued by Margaret. She's not going to keep you addicted to the show.
She was, to me, the answer, New Jersey's answer for Dorinda Medley, the non-traditional housewife, new housewife, in that she's not the model, young, blonde, like almost like a Kristen Takeman type who you would almost expect in these shows to just kind of like enter the shows. She was someone who's a little bit more mature, more experienced, professional, and kind of with an irreverent kind of personality and humor. To me, unless it gets dramatically better, I just thought, I don't know. I thought she was nice, likable enough, but to me, I didn't see anything compelling.
Yeah, we're told she's animated and that she's over the top. We're told that she's so much fun. She self-describes herself as power. Where is it? I mean, look. I mean, I give this woman time and credit. Like we got to give her some time. it's the first episode we haven't been, there's all big personalities on, arguably. But I mean, okay, okay, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it
that
for
her
now.
mom was named Marge Senior. I liked that.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was everything. How did you not notice that? The show is replaying right now as we're talking, and I'm seeing the drama at Envy, and you're right. That is the one I wish I saw more of.
Yup, right? I mean, that was it. We saw the whole story get built last season. I mean, give us a payoff. Second half, and the rest of all returns. This is Siggy life is there. The house there. All of her plastic surgeons there. And it's the first time that Teresa is going on vacation in 4 years, and the first time that Melissa's in a naked picture. So here we are.
Yeah, what a way to get there. You know what I was thinking at this point, when at this point in the show when Margaret came on, doesn't she favor Kim Granatel's mannerisms a bit and her voice? You remember Kim G?
Do you think it's Kim G in like a zip up mask?
I wish the
show.
pigtails were hiding like something. Did you not hear her voice? Like there were times where I was like, oh my gosh. Because I really always enjoyed Kim G. I thought she was funny. I thought she was totally the definition of what a friend of should have been. But that's that's who she reminded me of.
I know. Look, they need to resurrect Kim G. I'm sure she'd do it for free. She'd come in for a pickup tonight, I'm sure.
She would probably pay to do it.
Exactly. Let her do it. The ladies go to this New York Prime restaurant, and she enters and makes quite a scene. I grew up with a lot of women like this, with school events or community things. Can't have a conversation with anyone because they're just too busy waving and saying hello. This is how I grew up, with women just like Siggy, and I can't stand it. It was a throwback. It was just so obnoxious. How did you feel about it?
I thought it was acting like the women we know. So when growing up in our type of household, you're right. That's the everyday. That's Sunday. That's the christenings. That's a party. Anything that we're going to. But I thought it felt very affected to me of Siggy trying to emulate the type of entrance she would like to be able to have. I don't know. I've never been down for the Siggy train. To me, she's not a natural housewife. I don't know. I'm
like, okay, I have to see, there has to be something here. So I'm really going to try to go into this with an open mind. I feel like Bravo knows they've got to do some work. I feel like the producers are getting to work quick with this gas trip, and that's encouraging. So, okay, let's watch what happens. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Well, at this point in the show, too, the other thing that struck me was, how is this going to work? In that Teresa, Dolores, Melissa, and Siggy have liked each other since almost the entire last season that they were all on. And, even though I'm sure there's going to be a conflict coming up, I mean, I think that they're all going to maintain liking each other for the most part. But with the infusion of Danielle in, you need Jacqueline. That's the story. The story seems to be, even like you have Danielle nowadays saying, oh, Teresa's my girl and all this stuff. Okay, so now they resolved their issues off camera, and we know in present day they're still okay. Where's the resolution? What's worth watching for? So I don't know. That to me is something that's missing. Jacqueline, I've never been a huge favorite of Jacqueline. Or she's never been a favorite of mine, I should say. But that's something that is missing. That was the conflict back in the day. It really, apart from the table flip moment, the real issue was between Danielle and the Manzos. I don't know. That was something I was thinking.
I think, though, at some point, when do you put Jacqueline away for a while to see how we can create something else without her? I mean, at what point do we say, okay, we've kind of exhausted that, and we just see what else we can squeeze out of this while we still can? So I'm okay with not seeing Jacqueline involved. Let's hope for the best. Teresa, though, is talking a little differently in this episode. She feels that Joe made a lot of the wrong decisions when it came to the family, not putting them first, and that she was put in a situation where she lost 11 months with her mother. And, I mean, that will definitely toll on someone. And Melissa's really surprised to hear the scrutiny against Joe. I mean, this is the first time we really heard it when it wasn't just complete support towing that line. So I mean, it was like a real moment. I mean, to be honest, like that was the realest one I've seen from her in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was actually a little hard to watch. I mean, again, going back to that hard to watch thing, which I guess that's the state of what their lives are right now. So, I mean, if it is real, then that's as real as they possibly could be. Yeah, it's strange, Nathan. I root for her and Joe to make it. You know, you hear the rumors and you see things in the gossip magazines and Page Six and that kind of stuff, but you know, there is something for that old Italian marriage kind of thing of you make it through. And I don't know, I've always, to me, I hope they make it through, whatever the story is. But you're right, it was, at least you finally almost see the real acknowledgement, the crack in the veneer to say, okay, good, that's what you've been really feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is necessary. I mean, since that freaking fight that they had on that deck years ago, Caroline Mann's walking in with her Lotta. It's like since that moment, just keeping everything up years. I mean, at least finally we get, like you said, a crack in the mirror. Dolores made an interesting point.
Well, you know, I know someone very well who very recently, in the past couple of years, had their mother pass away, and so Teresa's age actually. And before the mother passed, they said, "Don't make the same mistakes that I made. You know, get out of your marriage and enjoy and live the life you deserve." It wouldn't surprise me if Teresa received a message like that at some point in her life, or right before the mom died or something. But even if the mom didn't explicitly say that, I can say firsthand from an experience with a friend of mine recently, you know, that will change a person's thought process. And my friend is now single. True.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can't picture Teresa's mother telling her to leave, but maybe there was something in Teresa like, you know what,
well,
everyone else is telling me to
last
get out.
year at the reunion, if you remember, Jacqueline revealed that Melissa had confided to her that the parents were involved as they were discussing a possible divorce when Teresa was in jail. So there were hints of that at the reunion from Jacqueline that was something that Teresa's parents had been involved in. Go back and watch that. You'll see that if you watch this reunion.
Yeah, I should go back because I missed that. I'm glad you mentioned it because that's a good point. So the ladies all meet for breakfast, and I'm waiting to see how Danielle is going to be introduced organically, how she's going to be in Boca Raton conveniently with Margaret, and conveniently with all the other ladies. But they didn't acknowledge it. She just walked right in, and like I said on Twitter, like this should have been a huge marketing campaign for her to come back, like an old, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, black and white, like, did you miss me? Like, it should have been, like, such a big reveal. And this show could use a shot in the arm with that. But she didn't. She just walked in for breakfast randomly, never explained why she was there, why she was in Florida. But she was back in everybody's life. And it's like the second biggest moment in her life being on the show initially. You can see she is loving being back in with the bitches. So happy for her. It means a lot to her, apparently.
Oh,
good for her.
Huge smile on her face. Truly genuine smile. But come on. This is the iconic Danielle Staub. This is the one we've waited years to see. Would she ever come back? She's not coming back. Oh, my God. Can you imagine if she comes back?
Nope.
And she comes back in a cheap blue shirt, cheap-looking blue shirt at least, with her hair pulled in a ponytail. Stop it. You have got to be kidding me. This is what we waited for? No.
I felt a little better when I realized that they had the flashback of her at her housewarming party. I was like, okay, so this is not her first time filming. I was like, thank God this isn't her first filming. I'm sure she was amped up for that. So, you know, it's fine. I'm giving them a pass on the wardrobe. I understand. Melissa is all in with her. And I was like, Melissa, were you ever out? Did you ever have a full out with her? Because that's how Melissa was put into this picture. You know, Melissa told Danielle that Teresa never acknowledged her nephew. So I was like, so nothing's changed, huh?
Right, exactly. But, you know, I will say, in terms of, like, that whether Danielle was amped up in the early days of filming, you know, there was another scene that they showed of Teresa and Danielle in a hot tub. So you have to wonder, so now they had 2 full days of filming with Danielle that they didn't use. Maybe she didn't bring it at first, because I can't imagine that they expected that they would get all the way through weeks of filming probably And really, almost an hour into the premiere episode before they showed her, you had to expect that they would have had a lot more to work with by then. But she was the missing piece earlier in this episode.
I think it all has to do with the timeline of the mother's past, building that opening around her mother's past. Like,
True.
I think that's what they had to do story-wise. But, yeah, I mean, at least we got glimpses of those moments. And I want to see the whole thing. I want to see her very first shot back, all done up in a bathing suit. Right?
Doesn't she still look fragile to you? She looks fragile still to me. I don't know. It's just something in the eyes that's just a little, I don't know. But you know what I thought was terrible? The producers. You know, I've been on the other side of this thing, so I know how this works. The producers definitely told her, you're going to go in there, and then you're going to talk, you're going to bring up the Kim D thing. And, you know, so she was all amped up to be like, you know, what'd you think about what happened to Kim D's car? And they were all like, oh, yeah, we saw. You know? And it was like, you know that she was waiting for, like, this big, crazy conversation to break out. Oh, my God. The big cartoonish reactions, and instead they were like, yeah, we saw, but it wasn't her kid. You know?
Yeah.
Awful.
And we talked about that on Grant's Rant back at the beginning of the year. We talked about that storyline with if you want to know more about what really happened with Kim D's son in the car. But we're not going to get into the show, you know. But, I mean, back to what I was saying, yes. It was took the air right out of her balloon to walk in there with that bad news. I don't know what the good news was. That was she had a boyfriend's credit card. I don't know what that was. But Dolores
what was that
out,
good
she's
news?
like, I don't know. But Dolores points out that she's like, oh, we're all going to ignore that this woman's like someone has to say it. Swear off all seasons. So it's planting the seed for future feuds. So Melissa is warning Siggy that MD will turn her back or backstab her the same way she did with everybody else. But Siggy getting behind her friend Kim D was never a good look on this show.
Right, that's true.
Yeah. So Danielle really isn't asserting herself. We're on the boat, and she's oh, look at you, look at your body. Like you can tell she's getting herself as much airtime as possible. I love it.
Right.
That's a long time coming.
Right.
I'll take it. So Margaret, she throws her first little bit of shade. She's talking about husbands and men. She said, "Well, I looked up man in the dictionary, and I didn't see Matt Campanella in there. Whoever he is, the husband. What's his husband's name? Something Campanella."
Yeah.
So she's emasculating Siggy's husband. So like that's a future for a food white cheese so rude because Siggy is the one who bought the sword with pig. Whatever.
Right. Well, you can imagine if you're Margaret and you just filmed your first days with them. Basically, I assume that was her first day of filming. And basically, if Siggy's acting a clown in a restaurant, embarrassing you, you know, and when those days are long, it's hot. There's a lot of things going on. I would express my first level of frustration at Siggy too. If that were my first day of filming and I was getting frustrated with someone, it was going to be her because it ain't going to be anyone else. They were all nice.
God gave her a gift, and she's the most talented person on the face of the earth. Which, you know, this was taken way out of context. Can we be real?
Right.
I don't believe it. So she said that she's just completely torn between helping people, and the husband isn't happy, and then she just dumped a glass of wine on the table. Okay, like clearly it's just did not want to just go into all it now, and I'm good. Save it. That's the only storyline.
Right.
Oh. So lastly, Teresa knows Melissa, and she's so happy to be there with her sister-in-law, and then yells across the table. It's like, what is this world? What is happening? And then they start throwing cake at each other, and it's very offensive because it's just a disrespectful notion toward art, according to Siggy. So I think it's really ridiculous. I think we're really trying to get the music blaring, the shots, the one shots. I mean, was it really dramatic? I mean, is this really
No, it was corny. Grant, it was corny as they come. And, you know, here's the other thing. I'm sorry. Teresa and Melissa do not have the best buddy chemistry. If they're trying to turn them into Lucy and Ethel, they're not nearly likable enough to do that. This is not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see them cordial, and she keeps saying sister-in-law, my sister-in-law. I don't know if it's off of the cameras or what, but I'm glad they're cool with each other. Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah, of course.
They're just not. Yeah, they're not pulling it off as that little dynamic frickin' frack duo of New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. This is not going to be Ramonia 2.0 over here. But no, I totally agree.
No.
Listen, I don't think anybody wants
This
to
show
see them in
could-
conflict anymore. Nobody wants to see that at all. That storyline's been played. But there is a middle ground between we hate each other and, we're best friends. I think a simple, we're pleasant, that would be totally fine. But, if that's how you're going to act around your best friends, I mean, I don't know. It just, the chemistry isn't there for me.
Yeah. So it ends with Margaret telling Siggy she needs to calm down to take it down a notch. And then Siggy tells her to go F herself. And then that's the end of it. Like, wow. That really, like, we know that's not, that's in the grand scheme of Housewives, we've all been watching these shows too long to know that. That's not going to measure as a cliffhanger. Sorry.
Right. And, but in terms of how that wrapped up, one thing to always remember is, the last 2 seasons of Jersey were not exactly praised by critics and fans alike, but both had very strong premiere episodes. Very well edited, compelling TV, almost both with the one, I think the season 6 was a new cast, rewriting and restaging your view of Jersey. Then 7 was bringing it back to the Jersey you know. Both very good premiere episodes, rapidly downhill from there. If this is where we're starting, we're going to be way worse than we ended up the other 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the preview for the rest of the season looked good. It looks okay. And it's like, they're all edited the same. What city you're looking at, it's like an emotional moment, a funny moment, and then it just goes crazy for us 2 minutes. But it's concerning because the 2 crazy moments were only 2 moments. So we weren't seeing like Real Housewives in New York, where they could take their pick for those last 90 seconds, but this was just not even 90 seconds, 40 seconds. I mean, this was 2 crazy events. I can only hope that's only the first half of the season. I'm going to be glass half full here,
right?
But
exactly.
We'll see what happens next. So thank you for chatting with Nick all the way from New Jersey.
No problem. Thank you for having me. My last message, my parting shot about the whole thing is my plea to producers. Do not let this show turn into what has happened with New York and Bethany. Do not let the other women be too afraid to go against Teresa, that if they go against her, they're going to be taken off the cast. That will be the downfall of all of these shows if one singular person gets too much power over the entourage. Or the ensemble, I should say.
Yep, I agree. Well, we've got 1 minute left here. I want people to listen to next full episode of Rants Hollywood Talk. It's episode number 67. That's on the podcast. This is a little bonus episode for you, talking about Real Housewives of New Jersey. Thank you for listening. We'll be back with more Rant. Nick, thank you very much.
Thanks, Grant. I'll talk to you later.
This has been Grant's Rant Small Talk. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rant Hollywood Talk podcast on Apple Podcasts, Blog Talk Radio, this YouTube channel, and in the links below.